Hey guys, Rocambasco here, and today I tried beating Dying Light as Ryu Hayabusa. And what does that mean? Well, I was scrolling on the tube of you when I came across a Mitten Squad video. Rest in peace, Paul. Can you beat Fallout as the pint-sized slasher? And I was like, I want to cosplay as a character in a video game too, so bada bing bada boom, here we are. The rules for beating the game as Ryu is I can only use a standard katana, a standard bow, standard arrows, and of course, standard shurikens. I know Ryu has a large arsenal at his disposal with different varieties of weapons, but I wanted to stick to his main three. And I guess he would technically know ninjutsu too, but I thought that'd make this challenge a little too easy if I was using my hands and legs. Plus, hand-to-hand combat isn't really his main form of fighting, he kinda just sprinkles it into combos. And when it comes to attire, obviously I'll be using the ninja outfit. The game begins in a similar way to Ninja Gaiden 3, but instead of descending from the heavens and landing an epic kill move, Crane lands on the ground, he gets beaten, then eaten, then freakin', wakes up in a building, and I have to kill my first zombie with a tackle. I could make up some bullshit and say, it was a ninjutsu tackle, but lying ain't honorable, and dishonor isn't the ninja way, so this was just a regular old normal person tackle, so you could say I technically failed the challenge. And that's when I met a genuine baby maker. I tried to high-five her uterus for being so cool, but apparently that was inappropriate. I guess Dying Light doesn't support respecting women, so I wrapped things up in the tower and made my way outside. My first order of business in any Dying Light challenge is to clear the zombies out of a nearby safe house. Spike said he spent weeks preparing safe houses all over the slums, but newsflash Spike, it isn't much of a safe house if there's a giant hole in the wall and zombies can easily wander in, yetard. But in order to rid this house of lies of its unsafety, I would need to get my hands on some shurikens. Luckily, just a few minutes ago, I met Zere sensei. He was old, wise, and lived out of a trailer. Which sounds bad at first, but considering the state of real estate right now, he must have had all the Haran bitches knocking at his door. Too bad he's gay probably. Just like a true sensei, he provided me with the means to succeed. After our first meeting, he bestowed upon me 500 survivor points, which was enough to reach level 2 survivor rank, which means I was now able to craft shurikens. Shurikens require a blade and a string to craft. Luckily, these two parts are fairly common, so in no time, I made my first ninja weapons. After that, I made my way to the unsafe house and I took out all 3 zombies with only 1 shuriken each. Shurikens may have been effective for now, but the thing about this game is zombies get stronger as the story progresses, whereas my shurikens don't. They have a fixed base damage of 88, so it wouldn't be long before my shurikens became as useful as the nipples upon my body. FYI, I'm a boy. I wrapped up the tutorial, and now that it was complete, I could don my ninja attire. I felt my testosterone levels increase by at least 110% just from all that tight leather caressing my baby smooth skin and my baby sized peepee. But things were serious now. Jade, the woman from earlier who withheld her uterus from me, told me airdrops would be dropping soon. They would be filled with antizin and our people needed it, so she sent me to the cauldron to locate them. Cauldron? That's a weird name for a place. Is it filled with witches or something? But turns out that wasn't far from the truth, because when I found one of the airdrops, Rice's men beat me to it, so I had to fight them. At first, things were normal. Jade tried to warn me not to fight Rice's men before I got here, but it was literally impossible for me to care about anything she says. Resident Evil 4 instilled in me to always risk getting shot over listening to anything a woman has to say, so I had no choice but to follow my conditioning. But I see why she warned me now. Cauldron must have been short for the leaky cauldron from Harry Potter, because my enemies were fighting me with magic. And damn it, this wouldn't be the last time they use it either. How could I be so naive? When I finally killed Cheater Shuriken Eater, I realized I wasted about 21 shurikens trying to fight just one man, and the enemies are supposed to be weak right now. So imagine how many shurikens it's gonna take to defeat an enemy when I reach Sector 0? Unacceptable. And this fact just kept rearing its ugly head as I progressed through the story. I left the other 2 thugs alive and made my way to the second airdrop. I found the antizin crates, and that's when I got a phone call. Oh no, it was Spider-Man. He told me that Jade was passing the time by doing her favorite activity, dishwashing, when she noticed I didn't eat all my vegetables, so she called Spider-Man and ratted me out. Spider-Man said that if I didn't burn the antizen right now and return to the tower and finish eating all my veggies, then he'd have to take away my shurikens. Hang on, I need those! So I burned the antizen and returned to the tower. But when I returned to the tower, Jay didn't know what I was talking about. But now that the antizen was gone, we had no choice but to go to Rais for antizen. When I got there, he asked me how my call with Spider-Man went, and I realized I had been pranked. At first, I didn't understand how people could fear this belly button showing warlord, but after pulling a tactic like pretending to be Spider-Man, I realized his cruelty knew no bounds. So now I had no choice but to do some errands for him for the next while. This is when, once again, I realized how shitty shurikens are. Doing jobs for Rais led me to a fishing village that I had to collect protection money from. The protecting was easy for the most part, since there's a lot of bomber zombies here, but holy moly, this single walker took 6 shurikens to defeat, which is a lot because when you make shurikens, you only make 5 at a time, which isn't much. Even when I get the upgrade and start making 8 per batch, that's not a huge step up. And when you consider the time it takes running around to gather these materials, it became even more obvious to me that shurikens weren't worth it. So my next order of business was to obtain a bow. I'd like a katana, but every time I've played this game, I've only ever found them in Sector 0, so it'd be a while before I'd be seeing one of those. Unfortunately, bows aren't obtainable until I reach level 9 in Survivor rank, but as a level 7, I wasn't too far off. So as per my usual strategy to increase my Survivor rank in any Dying Light challenge, I went to the Stuffed Turtle and grabbed a handful of disaster relief packages to turn into the Quartermaster. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, you enter the Stuffed Turtle and grab the disaster relief packages, then leave, go back inside, and they respawn, which is basically infinite disaster relief packages, which equals infinite Survivor level points. I turned in the packs, reached level 9, and now I could buy the bow and arrows. I was feeling more and more like a ninja every day, but there's something about the bow that's so annoying, yet so subtle, that I didn't even realize it was a thing until I was almost done the challenge. But it affects the usefulness of the bow at range. I'll let you guys watch this footage and see if you can figure it out for yourselves. Okay, so look at these first 3 shots, then look carefully at the 4th. Whenever you raise the crosshair by a schmeckle, the curvature of a fired arrow changes drastically from a low shallow curve to a higher longer curve. It's a subtle change, but the fact that the change is there in the first place makes the bow very inconsistent when it comes to successfully being accurate at range, and that's why a lot of the time it's hard to be silent but deadly, because of this sweet spot of shit. But another factor is the bow just has no power to it, so being accurate outside of close range is harder than my unwashed cum sock. Otherwise, it's a good weapon that kills most enemies in a single headshot, which is perfect for my ninja needs. Plus, you can retrieve arrows after shooting them, so yay. Now, we were at the school part, and this is where I unlocked the camouflage ability. Not like this skill was game-changing or anything, but Ryu is capable of camouflaging, so I thought I'd use it in certain situations just cuz. Rais made a fool of me, so now Mr. Rocambasco was gonna teach him a lesson in vengeance. Everyone in the building had to run, hide, or die, cause my specialty was the disciplinarian department, and I didn't hold back. I thought I'd just charge in Legolas style and start blasting, but I realized I had the aim of a cross-eyed armadillo. Regardless of how bad my aim is, I still cleared out the school and stole the explosives in no time. And just look at the way I hunted this bolter. I missed my 2 shots on purpose to get him running, just so I can impress you all with this ninja-esque shuriken throw. I showed my body cam footage to Zere sensei for him to observe, and he was shocked. He confirmed that my levels of ninja coolness were off the charts, but my combat skills alone weren't enough. My parkour was severely lacking in the, hey, that's pretty good department. It was beginner level at best, and I needed to get it up to par with Ryu's abilities. In order to do so, I needed my agility to reach level 13 so I could get the free running expert skill so my parkour would become better and quicker overall. And I wanted Tic Tac to climb walls like a squirrel because that would be a big help to me in this challenge. So I spent the next hour doing the same parkour fever challenge over and over again to reach agility level 13. You get 1000 agility points each time you do it, so after the longest hour of my life, I got what I was looking for. Zere sensei examined the footage, and he scientifically proved that I was in fact Ryu Hayabusa, the ultimate ninja. Shortly after our meeting, Rise's thugs decided to get revenge on us for hitting the school, so they broke into Zere Sensei's camp. I defeated the thugs with ease, and Sensei's welcome mat told me that they kidnapped my sensei. It was 1/4 past inconvenient, which meant 2 hours past my bedtime, so Rise would have to deal with my sleepy ninja fury. So I ninjutsu ran, and ninjutsu followed Zere Sensei's old man scent to Rise's crib. The place was locked down tight, so I ninjutsu climbed up the front of the building, took out the guards on the roof with my bow, and made my way inside. Things weren't much different when I entered the building, until I made it to the basement level. I encountered my first gun dudes, and they were a pain to deal with. You see, my aim is only as good as the stillness of my enemies, so if they move around, I was helpless. Any arrows that hit a moving target is pure luck, and the worst part is Rise's thugs are incapable of standing still. This fight did drag on for a while, 15 minutes to be exact, and I had my fair share of deaths here. And wouldn't you know it, shurikens are actually quite useful against gun dudes. Eventually, I defeated everyone I needed to, and I rescued my Zere sensei. But oh no, Rai snuck up on us before we could leave. He stabbed my sensei in the leg, and I pointed out to him that that was illegal and he should apologize. But instead of apologies, he offered me blunt trauma and to be the star in his next gladiator fight. At this point, all my weapons and equipment get taken away, and I have no means of crafting shurikens or getting my bow back. However, the first group of walkers all defeated themselves by tripping into spiky barrels around the arena. And when it comes to the Demolisher, long story short, there was nothing I could do here, so I had to kill him with a machete. Rise decided that I would be way cooler if my life expectancy was reduced to 0, but I ninja'd my way to a longer life. Unfortunately, Zere Sensei failed the "Can you live a long life if you get stabbed in the heart" challenge, so I left the garrison, talked to the homies, and now it was time to go to Sector 0. Making my way through the sewers was a piece of cake. I killed the zombies with ease, I killed Rise's men with ease, and bada bing bada boom, we were out of the slums. Now that I was in Sector 0, I wanted to get a damn katana already. I wouldn't obtain one until a few missions later though, so I planted the bombs in the apartment building and fought Rise's men in the museum. The apartment building part was really easy thanks to camouflage mostly. I was getting overwhelmed at first in these little apartments, so in the end, I decided to defeat most of the undead unseen. And I gave this child something to cry about and die about. The museum was really easy too, so I'm not going to discuss it in too much detail, but there is of course the Tahir fight. Once again, all your weapons and equipment get taken away, making you useless, just like menopause takes away a woman's usefulness, so I had no choice but to fight him with a machete, which is yet another fail. Oh shit! Do my eyes deceive me? It was my old pal Ronaldo. He failed ninja school back when it started because he was a shitty combatant, but here he was fighting a demolisher. How brave. Clearly he still has struggles, so I gave him a hand. We had a reunion, and I gave him a celebratory propane tank to use with his next barbecue. But the demolisher faked his death and pulled a sneak attack. Ronaldo. I was gonna use the money he gave me for saving him to buy a katana, but these criminals were discriminating against me for being a minor. I had to be 16 to buy a katana, so there was only one thing left for me to do: go to another vendor. But damn! Apparently they all collectively agreed on this rule. So, you know what I did next? Well, let's play some trivia. Did I A. Stuff a turkey for Thanksgiving? B. Stuff your mom because I could? C. Stuff my teddy full of stuffing? Or D. Stuff my pockets with disaster relief packages? If you chose D and B, then you're absolutely right. I delivered the packages to the quartermaster like the little mailman that I am, and in turn, I was now survivor rank number 16. Then, I returned to Haran University and finally bought my first katana. Kinda useless at this point since I beat the game in the next hour, but hey, at least I can say I finally felt fully like Ryu Hayabusa. I really wish I would have got the katana earlier in the game. Maybe if I would have gotten to survivor rank 16 in the slums, I could have got it, but I'm 93.6% sure you can't get them unless you're in Sector 0. Either way, all I could do now was enjoy what little time I had left with it. So I stuck it slowly up my... The last two missions are very simple and straightforward, so in no time I confronted Rise, I beat him, I stabbed him in the stomach with a machete, and my phone started ringing. I told him it was Spider-Man and that he said he would perform surgery on Rais if he jumped off the building into his spider web. So we jumped and, spoiler alert, there was no web or phone call from Spider-Man. I made it all up. So with that, I beat the game. So can you beat Dying Light as Ryu Hayabusa? No. Well, consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.